Good afternoon, America. Today is Sunday, the 18th. I was saying the wrong date yesterday. I said that it was the 10th when it was actually the 17th. So today is Sunday, June the 18th. And I've skipped a couple of Psalms only because we have a long reading today in Genesis 37. So we're going to read Psalms 100. And I want to read it both from here as well as here. It's a very short song. It is a anonymous psalm. As you know, some of the psalms were written by anonymous writers, so this is one of those psalms. It is a psalm. It says, "Serve the Lord with gladness and thanksgiving." Yes, it's appropriate. Say, serve the Lord with gladness and thanksgiving. And here it says a psalm for giving thanks. It has 5 beautiful verses, and let's begin. Um, we're starting at 1242. Okay, it's the first two psalms are green for love. Then we have 2 psalms of purple for the Trinity, and we have 1 psalm of red for discipleship. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Verse 2, serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Verse 3, know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that has made us and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. 4, the red verse, enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name. 5, for the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endures to all generation. This okay, let's read it from here. Shout for joy to the Lord, all earth. 2, worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. 3, know that the Lord is God. It is he who has made us, and we are his. It is he who has made us, and we are his. Verse 3 here said, know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that has made us, and not we ourselves. That has been omitted from this Bible here. So it says, know that the Lord is God. It is he who make us, and we are his. The not we ourselves has been omitted. That's why I question sometimes and I compare for good reason. Okay? And we are his people, the sheep of his pasture. 4, enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, give thanks to him, give thanks to him, and praise his name. 5, for the Lord is what? Good, and his love endureth forever. Forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. 5 says, for the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endures to all generation, which is better. That includes this generation now. That includes this generation, all generations, those before us, those of us here now, and those that come after us. This verse is true. For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, his truth endures to all generations. Okay? And that is a anonymous writer there. Okay. The topic today is going to be on hate, but it has to do with jealousy. Hate. What is hate? To dislike something with strong feelings, right? Okay, what causes it? Many things can cause hate. But one of the many things that can cause hate is parental favoritism. That's what we're going to be reading about today. If you have children, if it's more than one child, you ought to treat all your children as if you love them all. You are not to single out one or two. You are not to abandon one or two. You are to love and care for all the children that the Lord has given thee. Okay? And whenever you do single one out, it causes a lot of stress. So we're going to read about Joseph today and how his parent was outright in showing favoritism towards Joseph because he was the son of his favorite wife. But many times man's favorite is not always God's favorite. Okay? Man may favor one wife and God may favor the other. You can usually tell by how many children he allows ones to have. And the one that the man favored, he may not give her children for a while. And when he does give her children, the man will always favor her children over the children of the wife he less favored, which was Leah. Okay? So in this story, we're talking about Joseph, and he's a dreamer. Okay? He's a natural-born dreamer. Okay? So Joseph dreams, incites his brothers to envy, and Joseph is sold by his brothers and taken to Egypt. Now, this journey that Joseph takes is God orchestrated. God did it for a reason. However, that reason would not come to pass until years later when Joseph is in his 30s. He is tossed away when he's around 17. But at the time he meets his brothers again, I think I read this story to you not too long ago, where they go to Egypt for food, to buy food, and the man that they're interacting with is asking them a lot of questions about their family. And they're baffled by that. On top of that, not only is he asking questions, but they return home with the money that they were supposed to use to pay for the food they brought. On top of that, the man wants them to bring the youngest son back home, and they don't tell their father right away. They wait until it's time to go and buy more food to share this terrible news with their father. Okay? So we're going to read about Joseph today, and I'm going to try to read it from both, but if we can't, I'm going to try my best. Okay? So this has a lot of black in it, a lot of silver for history, a lot of gold for prophecy, a lot of yellow for family, and it's not a very long verse, but let's begin. And Jacob dwelled in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. Okay. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad, which was a young man, is called a lad, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and the son of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. So Joseph would go out and spy on his brothers and tell his father what his brothers were up to. Okay, so let's read it from here. Joseph lived in the land where his father had stayed, the land of Canaan. 2. This is the account of Joseph. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending a flock with his brothers, the son of Bilhah and the son of Zilpah, his father's wives, and he brought his father a bad report about them. 3 is for love. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. Okay, Leah was not here. I'm sorry, this was the wrong wife, but right man. Now, Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons because he had been born to him in his old age, and he had a richly ornamented robe for him. 4. And when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. So they were not kind to Joseph because they hated the fact that he was the favorite. Okay. 5, 6, and 7 is gold for prophecy. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brothers, and they hated him yet the more. 6. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream, which I have dreamed. 6. For behold, we were binding shafts in the field, and lo, my shaft arose, and also stood upright, and behold, your shaft stood round about, and made obedience to my shaft. Now he's a young boy. He's not understanding. He's understanding his dream to the point where he can explain the dream, but he doesn't understand the significance of his dream until he shares that dream with his father. Okay, so let's go here. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. 5. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. 6. He said to them, Listen to this dream I had. 7. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my shaft rose and stood upright, while your shaft gathered round mine and bowed down to it. 8 is black for sin. And his brother said to him, Shalt thou indeed range over us? Shalt thou indeed range over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and his words. So they already didn't like the lad. And with this dream, that hatred grew like a mountain. Okay, so let's take it from here. 8. His brother said to him, Do you intend to range over us? Will you actually rule us? And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he has said. 9 is prophecy again, gold. And he dreamed yet another dream. He was a dreamer. God gave him visions through his dream. And what God was giving Joseph was his future. He was telling him about his future. He was telling him about his position. He was telling him about the positions of his brothers. And this dream he shared with his brothers. Okay? Now Joseph, I don't think really realized that his brothers' hatred for him was so deep as deceit. Okay? And he dreamed yet another dream and told it to his brothers and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obedience to me. Let's take it here. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. Listen, he said, I have another dream, and this time the sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. Okay. 10 and 11 is black for sin. And he told it to his father. Okay, now he's telling dad this. And he told it to his father and to his brother and to his father. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brother indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And his brother envied him, but his father observed the saying. His brothers envied him, they hated him, but his father took the dream and took it to heart and kind of wondered about the dream. He says, And his brother envied him, but his father observed. He paid attention to what the young lad was saying to him. So he didn't blow off the dream, but he did he did respond almost like his sons, because he said, "Shall I and thy mother and thy brother and thee come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth?" So he didn't respond in a hated way, but he said almost the same thing as his other sons. All right, so let's take it from here. When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, "What is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" 11. His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. So he kept it in his heart. He observed it. Okay? That's what it means to observe, to keep it in mind, to remember it, to ponder over it. Okay? 12 to 17 is silver for history. And his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. 13. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brothers feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here am I. 14. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brother, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he sent him to Shechem. 15, still history. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? 16, and he said, I seek my brethrens. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. 17, the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dahan. And Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dahan. Okay, let's take it from here, from 12. Joseph sold by his brothers. At this time, this is the time where he is going to be separated from his family. And this is, remember God, people, this is God orchestrated. Everything that happens in our life is orchestrated by God. So if the Lord separates you from among your family, don't always look at it as if it's a bad thing. Yes, it's bad in one way, but with God in it, it turns out to be good. Okay? So now, and another thing I'd like to tell you. You may have 4 or 5 children, 6 or 7. You may have 2. The Lord will take the best of the ones you have. In the same thing that he did with Jesse when he was looking for a king. Jesse had all his sons lined up. All of them looked like they would make good kings. But what the Lord looks for, man does not. Okay? The Lord looks at the heart of the child. And although all his other sons looked like kings to be, they did not have the right heart. The one that had the right heart that Samuel was looking for was tending to the sheep. And Samuel, when God sends you somewhere and you find out what you're looking for, you don't leave because you know that whatever you're looking for is there. And Samuel did not leave. And he said to him, Do you have another son? And the father said, Jesse said, Yeah, but he's the one tending the sheep. And Samuel said, I must wait here for him. As soon as David showed up, the Lord said, Put the oil on him. Okay? The Lord looks after the heart of a man, not the outer appearance of a man, like the world does. You know, the world is so into their outer appearance. Let's continue. Joseph sold by his brothers. Now his brother had gone to graze their father's flock near Shechem. 13. And Israel said to Joseph, As you know, your brothers are grazing the flock near Shechem. Come, I am going to send you to them. Very well, he replied. 14. So he said to him, Go and see if all is well with your brothers and with the flocks, and bring word to me. Then he sent him off from the valley of Hebron. When Joseph arrived at Shechem, 15, a man found him wandering around in the field and asked him, "What are you looking for?" 16, he replied, "I'm looking for my brothers. Can you tell me where they are grazing their flocks?" 17, "They have moved on from here," the man answered. "I heard them say, 'Let's go to Dahan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dahan. Okay, 18. 18, 19, and 20 is black for sin. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. So first, initially, they, the wicked ones, but he had one good brother. I love Reuben. It's nice to have at least one good brother. It's nice to have one. If all of them are the same, then you're really cursed in a way. But at least Joseph had one good brother. Okay. And when they saw him far away, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And so happens Reuben was with them. 19. And they said one to another, "Behold, this dreamer cometh." 20. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast has devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. Okay, oh Lord. Okay, let's read it from here. But they saw him in distance, and before he reached them, they plotted to kill him. 19. Here comes that dreamer! Exclamation mark. They said to each other. 20. Come now, let us kill him, throw him into one of these cisterns, and say that a ferocious animal devoured him. Then we'll see what comes of his dream. Okay, 21 and 22 is blue for salvation. Here comes my brother Reuben. Okay, I don't have a real brother like Reuben, but I have brothers, but none of them are like Reuben. Okay, so I was unfortunate. But Joseph was very fortunate. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, "Let us not kill him." Reuben had love for his brother. Okay, he wasn't like the others. He had a better heart. Okay, so 22. And Reuben said unto them, "Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that it is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands to deliver him to his father." So Reuben wanted to spare his brother. He wanted to deliver his little brother back to his father. Okay? You should be lucky if you have a brother like Reuben. Okay? 21. When Reuben heard this, he tried to rescue him from their hands. "Let's not take his life," he said. 22. "Don't shed any blood. Throw him into this Shechem here in the desert, but don't lay a hand on him." Reuben said this to rescue him from them and take him back to his brother. I have brothers. One is a judge. Another one is something else. None of them are like Reuben. I have two more other brothers. None of them are like Reuben. None of them. All of them are just like the brothers that wanted to slay him. Identical. And I don't mind telling you. Okay. 23, 24, and 25. All the way to 28 is black. And it came to pass when Joseph was coming to his brothers that they stripped Joseph out of his coat. So he was wearing that beautiful coat that Israel had made for him. That they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. 24. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, praise God. There was no water in it. That was good. 25. And they sat down to eat bread, and while they were eating bread, of course, the boy is hollering to get him out of the pit. They lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Israelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and palms and myrrh, going to carry it to Egypt. 26. And Jacob said unto his brother, what profit is it if we... And Judah said unto his brother, so he had a brother named Judah also, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? 27. Come, let us sell him to the Israelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh, and his brothers were content. Okay, so he had two good brothers, Reuben and Judah. All right. Two out of however many is still a blessing. All right. So 27. Come, let us sell them. 28. Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Israelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph unto Egypt. Okay, so let's take it from here. I'm trying to make sure we understand, people. So when Joseph came to his brother, they stripped him of his robe, the richly ornamented robe he was wearing. Okay, 25. And now Reuben is not there when they sold the boy. He was there when they put the boy in the pit. Then he apparently left. Okay, so while he was gone, the merchants came by, and the other brother, Judah, said, let's do this, that, and the other. Okay, so when Joseph came to his brother, they stripped him of his robe, the richly ornamented robe he was wearing, 24, and they took him and threw him into the sick-room. Now the sick-room was empty, there was no water, 25. As they sat down to eat their meal, they looked up and saw a caravan of Israelites coming from Gilead. Their camels were loaded with spices, palm, and myrrh, and they were on their way to take down to Egypt, 26. Judah said to his brother, what will we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? 27. Come, let's sell him to the Israelites and not lay our hand on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood. His brothers agreed. So they were in agreement. Okay, let's do this instead of killing the boy. All right. So let's go to 29. And Reuben returned unto I told you Reuben had apparently left after they stuck the boy in a pit. So Reuben left. Now Reuben returns, coming to fetch his brother. Watch his response. This is love. You should be lucky if you have a brother that loves you this much. 29. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit. And he rent his clothes. That is a sign in the biblical time of great grief. Of great grief. You rip your clothes. You see it, if you read the Bible, you will see it, read it, and you will see that when people are in great grief, that's the first thing they do is tear their clothes, okay? So he was very emotional not to find his brother in that pit. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Lord God, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. 30. And he returned unto his brothers and said, the child is not there. The child is not. And where should I go? So he's very upset. That's love. Okay. So let's take it from here. When Reuben returned to the sycamore and saw that Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes. 30. He went back to his brothers and said, the boy isn't there! Exclamation mark. Where can I turn now? So he's wondering, where is the kid? Where is the kid? He's not, the thing is empty. All right, we're going back to black. And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of goats and dipped the coat in the blood. Deception now. you find that people, that's the first thing they do to cover up something. They begin to, when you're covering something up, you are becoming deceptive. You're covering up that which you have done. But it was better that they sold the young lad than to have taken his blood. It is better. Okay? It is better for you to give your child. If you don't want that child, give it to someone who wants a child. Than for you to kill that child. Than for you to take that little infant and put it in a microwave. Than for you to take that little infant, kill it, dip it in the backyard pool. Hide it in your parents' car trunk for several days until it starts stinking. And then take it out and toss it like a piece of trash. This happens in this world today. This is what people are doing to their children. And they took Joseph's coat and killed the kid of goats and dipped the coat in the blood. 32. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, this have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or not. Okay, let's read it from here. 31. Then they got Joseph's robe, slaughtered a goat, and dipped the robe in the blood. 32. They took the ornamented robe back to their father and said, we found this, examine it to see whether it is your son's robe. Okay, 33 to 35 is back to love again. Now, can you just imagine, if you can imagine, can you imagine the reaction of the father when he saw that beautiful robe caked with blood? Can you imagine the emotions this old man went through? It's lucky it didn't kill him. God was merciful to this old man because this bad news did not kill him. Okay, 33. And he knew it and said, it is my son's coat. An evil beast has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. 34. And Jacob rent his clothes and put his sackcloth upon his loins and moaned for his son many times. So he too responded like Reuben, but he was much worse than Reuben. He moaned for his son. He put sackcloth on himself, on his loins. There is sometimes grief, Lord God, can be a powerful emotion. It can take your breath away. Okay, 35. I don't know how anybody can read this without getting emotional. You have to be an evil individual to read this and not get emotional. It's like looking at a movie. Okay? 35. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I will go down into the grave unto my son moaning. Thus his father wept for him. Okay, let's take it from here, 33. He recognized it and said, this is my son's robe! Exclamation mark. Some ferocious animal has devoured him. Joseph was surely been torn to pieces. 34. Then Jacob tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and moaned for his son many days. 35. All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. No, he said, in mourning will I go down to the grave to my son. So his father wept for him. So he cried many days. Okay. The last verse is silver for history. And the Midianites sold him unto Egypt, unto Potiphar, an official of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, one of the Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard. Okay, and that is the story of Joseph. That is the lesson of jealousy, favoritism, and the steering of God. So sometimes a bad situation can seem bad and sad in the beginning, but the Lord was setting Israel up to spare his life in 17 more years. He will see his son again. But of course, at the time, he didn't know that. He was convinced that his son was gone, and he grieved him for a long time. And though we may have brothers and sisters, not all of our brothers and sisters are going to feel the same about us. Some of us may be close, some of us may not be close. Some of us may have a brother like Reuben or a brother like Judah. Some of us may have brothers that are Lucifer's sons. But nonetheless, the lesson is learned. The jealousy is never a good thing, and favoritism among your children is a no-no. Okay? Today is a worldly holiday. It's called Father's Day. You know what makes a good father? A father that is a father to all the children that has come from his loins. That makes a good father. He helps each and every one of them. But even if you have not had a good father, even if he has denied you, even if he's tossed you away like a piece of trash, call him up and wish him a happy Father's Day. Because it is not what he has done for you that should matter, America. It is not what your parents have done for you that should matter, America. It is the simple fact of who they are to you. Whether he's been good to you or not, he is your father, and he deserves a phone call. Did you hear me? If he has not been good to you, disregard that. Only consider one thing. Who is he to you? And is he alive? Call him up and wish him a good Father's Day. Why? Because he is your father. And that's the only reason why you should be calling him. Not because he's been there for you. So yes, all the children that are your favorite, well, of course, they're going to call you on Father's Day. But the most meaningful call will come from the one who you have not done anything for. Thank you very much for listening to Spiritual Water. My name is Brenda Guerrero. And if you haven't spoken to your father in a long time, be like Christ today. If you have his number, give him a call and wish him a wonderful day. Thank you very much for listening. May the peace of God be upon you. May the protection of God surround you. May the will of God come from you. Until the next time, my name is Brenda Guerrero. Have a wonderful day and enjoy your Father.